Okay, I'm back. I don't know what happened to my other video, but I got a phone call, wife called, chit-chatting, doing what we do throughout the day. There is a storm coming in. I took a shower and all that good stuff. Got my lunch ready. That's what I was doing on that other video. I don't know how this YouTube works, so eventually I'll get there and do whatever it takes. I might have to pay something, I don't know. But there's a storm coming. I'm getting ready for bed. In fact, I'm glad I just thought of that. I'm gonna get the charger. I keep one in the truck and one in the, I call it the house. In fact, that's what it is. It's a house. So, but it's bright moon out. You don't even have to have a light. I had the awning out earlier and it started getting dark, and it wasn't quite dark yet. But that awning light out there on the end, that sun got it bright. That wind would move that little flap that hangs over the edge of it. It would light up your light. It was pretty bright. I didn't even know it worked. And I was up in the back of my truck looking at the top of it. It's an old canvas awning. I need to change it out someday. But it works. It shades the front of the trailer where the sun ain't just beating on it on the front. Then the sun goes directly over the top and bakes the top, and then it bakes the back side. It's just like, I don't know. I turned the air down, just came back in, just to cool it off in here. Then I'll turn it up and probably leave it on about 75 like I've been leaving it. And usually by the time I come in the afternoon, it's good. It's comfortable. But got a lot done today. Did a lot of cleaning, dusting, vacuuming, sweeping. Worked on the bathroom, cleaned that up. Well, cooked a good dinner. I got dinner tomorrow, same thing. I made 2 hamburger patties, hamburger steak patties. Told you what I put in there. And it was good. It was good. Like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of full-time RVers out here. There's families that live in RV. They've been here for a long time. And it's something to really think hard on if you're interested in that. A lot of people just want to stay in that vicious cycle, and I was listening to some people talk about how much people spend on a nice house and all this stuff, and the maintenance and the yard and the cosmetic refurbishing, remodeling and stuff like that. People throughout their work life spend 47 to 50% of what they earn, what they work hard for, on just a place to live. I can't fathom that. I mean, that's just hard to take in. I don't know. I'm all for. I've had some houses. I did most of the remodeling stuff myself. I replumbed them from the water pipes and water lines to drain lines, sewer lines. I used to tear down old houses and get the shiplap and tear down some old barns. They wasn't big barns, they were just little sheds or whatever. And got all that old rustic wood, and I'd do the wainscot around in the house. I'd do old cedar boards on the porch, surround. I did the corrugated metal ceilings in some of these houses and stuff. I've done a lot of good work in that stuff. You know, I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. I'm dead serious. Blood, sweat, and tears, and hernia repair. Had 42-acre little farm. Had cows, had horses. And I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it. But it's gone. It's gone. When you reach a certain age, you're not giving up on doing the things you love to do. Sometimes you just need to change direction. You know, it's tough. And I think about that, and I don't dwell on the past that much. Believe me, don't get me wrong. But every now and then it just kind of hits you, you know. And it just puts more emphasis on what are we doing? We're living to die. We're working till we die. That'll probably be me. I mean, I don't like sitting around. I don't like doing all that. But still, there's still a lot of responsibility in doing full-time RVing. Off-grid, you know. It's a culture change to remove yourself from the norm society. Everybody said, well, you need to get you a good house, you need to pay for it, and then you can kick back and all that. And I'm like, I've owned houses. Dad and I owned 11 houses at one time. And I owned 2, I had 42 acres. It's all gone. You know. So it's a self-check. I'm telling you people, it's a self-check. Why not have something real nice? Yeah, we're going to upgrade, you know, later on. I want to get this paid off quick. And but isn't it nice to be able to, you know, do a seasonal thing or work or follow work and stuff like that, just take you home with you. And it's nice. I mean, there's people with anywhere from 1 to 5 kids that stay in RVs, but now take it for granted. They got these big old fifth wheels. And I know a couple of guys right here's got some, oh boy, I mean, they're anywhere from $50,000 to $80,000. But they're like me, they make good money. And I'm sure they'll have it paid off, but they're not paying nothing like they would on a house. I think the lowest house payment I've seen is $1,400 a month. Rent goes anywhere from $1,100 to $1,800 a month, just for rent. If you get some of these other nice houses and stuff, anywhere from $200,000 to $500,000 homes, usually you have an HOA, you know, you got to pay them dues every month. Then they're going to tell you what to do, how high you can cut the grass, when to cut the grass. You can't have that decorative stuff in the yard. You can only plant certain flowers. If you change your roof, you got to go with this style of roof, because they want all the roofs to be the same. I tell you what, unless you just got a crap load of money, you know, that's all good. My hat's off to everybody that works their butt off and has what they have, my hat's off to you. But, check out some of them videos. Cheap RV living, cheap RVing, something like that. It's got Bob on there, same name as me. There's a lot of different videos out there, and they break down what it costs every month, and certain things that come up, they break it down to you. They're not lying about it. They're not telling you a story, and it's not for everybody. It's not. But people like me that's been through houses and this and that, it gets, you just get to where you just don't do it anymore, I enjoy this area right here. I love the work I do, and I enjoy going to work. I enjoy the people I work around. My job is to help them do their work, do it safely, and go home like they came or better than what they came, And when I do that, I save the company's money when I work for different companies. And the good Lord, I tell you, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if the good Lord hadn't been looking out for me. And whether you're religious or not, but that's my story. I'm sticking to it. And one guy said, "Well, you don't believe all that stuff." I said, "Well," a guy asked me, he said, "So you telling me there's a heaven and a hell?" And I said, "Yeah, the way I was raised and everything that I've learned over the years, and the way that's true." They said, "Well, I don't believe that." And I said, "Well, I'll tell you what, you believe what you want to believe, and I'll believe what I want to believe. If I believe there is a God and there's a heaven, I'd rather stay that path and go into heaven than I would go into hell." So, there's a line there. And if there isn't either one of them, then I hadn't wasted my time. And if you believe what you believe, and there is a heaven and hell, where are you going to go? I'd rather do the best I can to go somewhere good than I had to end up saying, "Oh crap, Bob was right. I should have listened to him," and then go to the ladder, I mean, that's the whole thought process. People can be defiant, rebellious, and everything, but I believe what I believe, and I don't badger anybody for believing different. I don't tell them they're a sinner and they're going to hell, and I don't want nothing to do with you and all that. I got some people with borderline, I treat them just like everybody else, and you have to lead by example. But anyway, hope everybody did something good today, and I hope all this stuff that I'm putting out there, I hope leads people in the right direction. Follow your gut, follow your dreams, and think about what you're doing. If you're comfortable, you think you got a safety net by working the grind, paying for most of your life for a place to live, or possibly your entire life. I've had people that I've known retire early thinking, "Well, man, I got 20 something years." 2 or 3 years later, they're dead. They didn't know what to do with themselves. I mean, a lot of firefighters and people I've known, and hardcore, pipeliners and construction, oil riggers, they made good money over the years, and they put a lot back. And then they retired and they got out. They just didn't. I don't know what happens. I'm sure there's a lot of logical explanation to it, but they didn't live long once they retired. I don't really want to be that way. I know. I'm 53, so I got a pretty healthy, Social Security. I dumped a lot of money in Social Security. Now, whether we have it by the time I get there, I don't know what they're going to do with Social Security. But if we ended up doing an RV type life, and I think she's about there, but there's a lot of other factors in there. There's people that rely on her, family, stuff like that, that she's the main one that takes care of business. Everybody else got something to do. They're busy, doing their own thing and everything. I was raised that you take care of your parents. I did. I had always been there for them. I was the only one that was there for them. And yeah, I'm bragging about it because I was. That was the main reason I was out of work for a year. Everything I tried to get. I qualified, overqualified on everything I applied for. And it just wasn't meant to be. And then once Mother passed away, things in that line started falling in place. Just boom, 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 boom. And you tell me there's not a higher power out there. You can't convince me there's not. God has his way of making things fall into place. You can go, it's not like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It could be A, B, X, Y, G, H, I, and then C, D, E, F. It's not in the order that you want it to be. You can try your best to do it, but whenever it's time to fall into place, whatever it is you're supposed to do, what you're meant to do in this world, it'll happen. It don't matter how hard you try to make it happen quicker or prolong it, it's going to happen. So just buckle up and ride the wave, because that's the way it's going to work. So anyway, I didn't want to get off in the preaching sermon, but hope everybody enjoyed their day. I gotta lay down. Ooh, man, shouldn't be drinking that Coke here. Man, I'll be burping all night long. Anyway, always learn something new. Learn your skills, whatever it is. And, knowledge conquers fear. Fear creates agitation, and then it can create a mess. So the more you know, the better off you'll always be. Y'all have a good night. Talk to you tomorrow.